And welcome, one and all, to week 3 of the ANZ Heroes of the Storm Open Division. You're here with Cub T, and I'm joined tonight by...
Me. You wish. How you going, Cub?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm pretty excited for our games we've got lined up tonight. Bit of Heroes of the Storm should make for a good Wednesday evening.
Definitely. Did you manage to catch any of the Premier Division last night?
I did not. Winters asked me that same question last week. I've got to get better on that.
That's
It's terrible.
exactly why I asked you. That's exactly why I asked you.
Oh,
What you missed out on? You missed out on Coffee's amazing hammer play. But
that's nice to see. I'd like to see the ANZ meta adapting to some of the metas we're seeing in some of the major regions. So that's good. I like it.
I think he thought he might have been a bit rich, but in the end he came out a bit poor, I would say. Do you know what's the first map we've got tonight? You wish?
First map tonight, we're going to, I would say favourite, if I could say that sarcastically. We're going to go to Praxis Holdout.
Yeah, definitely an old favourite, you know. I'm sure someone loves it, but I think the majority probably kind of despise this map. First up, we're streaming Crimson Academy, their debut in the Open Division against Capital. So I think it'll be really good to see the players that Crimson have, assembled to try and take out the Open Division as well.
Yeah, for sure. And looking at the roster, it's a few names that we're not necessarily familiar with. Some one or two names maybe that we've seen before, but others we haven't. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they slide in against teams like Capital. We left school for this. Some of our and Pleb to Pro, the teams that are really jostling for those top couple of spots. So it should be interesting to see with the coaching from the Premier League team as well. So yeah, it should be real good.
Yeah, it's for me, it's going to be exciting to see how these players they move over, and just how they take on these more established teams, kind of like. So, the past 2 weeks, what have we had? The first week, Pleb to Pro were quite dominant, and then going into last week, they kind of fell off a bit. It was as if they kind of went, they went from being roles unspecified to Pleb to Pro, and then in week 2 they were back to being roles unspecified again. So for me, I want to see in week 3, are they going to be consistent? Are we going to see them back in form, or are we going to see a repeat of last week?
Yeah, hopefully we see a little bit stronger. You're at week 1, they were very strong. We saw them competing in the playoffs for that spot at Premier. And last week we didn't get to see any of their games on stream, but they won a couple, lost a couple, unfortunately. So yeah, hopefully they've done some really good scrimming and some good practice this week and come out strong. Last week we left school for this, formerly Wolfpack, were really strong. They were impressed us quite significantly with their play. So I'm actually keen to see how they continue going this season. They've been very consistent since we've seen them the last few seasons that have been open. So hopefully see them plug in for that top spot.
Yeah, we left school for this, formerly Wolfpack, formerly we met at Bunnings, formerly, whatever.
Maybe they should just call themselves formally. Maybe that would just work.
I'm really excited to see Tanner play. I really enjoy his ETC is amazing. So hopefully we get to see him proc that tonight. So now we're moving into the first game, which, as we said earlier, it's on Praxis Holdout. So what kind of a draft do you think we're looking at here?
It's hard to know. I mean, we saw Praxis Holdout being the 2-lane map. We see more pretty significant 4-1 splits. But then we've been seeing some little bit of changes in some of the pros with a rotating Genji and more of a 3-2. But then Genji's so hard to get your hands on these days, so that's probably not viable. There you go, he's gone already, straight off the bat. So yeah, I kind of agree with you. Last week I was plugging pretty hard to see Garrosh the entire time, but he was just banned every game. And you get how strong Garrosh and Genji currently are in the meta, but you're right, it's a shame that we don't actually get to see why they're as strong, if that makes sense. It's kind of a silly thing to say, but it would be nice to see it. But then it's such a big risk. If you give it up, you let the other team get it. You know, do you want to take that risk? First pick Malfurion's pretty strong. He's usually either 1 or the 1/2. There you go. You got it right. Typically, maybe see something like maybe a Blaze, or like you said, the Hanzo. That would probably not go astray.
I bring the mega death.
Yeah, that's true. And the ETC, which we've seen them play the ETC a little bit before, so it's obviously something they're very comfortable with. You know, they're good displacement. If you get that mosh pit, and there you go, and your Sonya as well, like you said. Yeah, we go something like that, or maybe they could go into a Tracer Malfurion. Isn't necessarily a bad pick if they back it up maybe later with a Tassadar, but that kind of leaves that open for the Tassadar ban if they were to go that now. Johanna, really strong, very common tank we're seeing in all leagues at the moment.
And Taro Adun.
Yeah, I think just having such a solid front line, and then with her unstoppable, makes her just so versatile. She can easily walk in and walk out of things if she has to. And then Phoenix. So we're actually seeing quite a lot of Phoenix at the moment, which is good to see for a relatively new hero. Yeah, they're playing around with him a lot, aren't they? They're getting close, I think, to somewhere competitively sound. Yeah, for sure. You never necessarily want to draft in a losing case scenario, but like you said, with the good down with his wave clear, is pretty great. One of the top wave clearers for clearing out that Zerg wave. So, who do you think we're going to see Crimson Academy ban? Makes sense. It's her displacement. They keep playing, like you're saying with Phoenix and his Nurse Mayers, they keep tuning her numbers, cutting down the Warden's Cage by a couple of seconds this last week, which obviously we're on the live patch. So they're another hero that they're constantly tuning, just because her displacement is so strong. It's not like it's a flat numbers thing that they can't just turn it down. So it's interesting to see the things that they're doing to make her a little bit more friendly.
To Malfurion, that's why he is so strong in the meta at the moment, because this kit is so powerful. You can change the numbers on it, but that isn't really going to change much. But I think the Maeve ban is interesting just because they do have Johanna. As I was saying earlier, she kind of counts as Maeve, so them, like, you have to think ahead in their draft and try and figure out what is their end game at the moment with banning that hero.
Let's save some lives.
Wow.
Rayman and Morales from Capital.
A Morales, that is something different. Will be interesting. That'll be really interesting to see how that come into play.
So now the question is, Crimson Academy need to pick up some sort of dive to counter this Morales. They need to find a way to be able to catch her out, to be able to shut down the kind of the kind of healing that Morales brings to a composition.
Yeah, they're not going to get far just attacking that front line with the Morales behind them, that's for sure.
Here we go.
And Chromie gives you that long distance poke. You can poke out the Morales. Put some pressure on herself as opposed to that front line. That's interesting.
And then Malthael as well to try and bring down those high HP targets such as ETC and Sonya. So I respect that pick.
What do you think about their wave clear? Crimson Academy's wave clear. Phoenix, with his interchangeable auto attack, with the burst, not the burst. You know what I mean.
The burst fire. Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah. Do you think that'll be enough? In a worst case scenario, do you think that'll be enough wave clear?
I feel like it's got potential. You know, they have the Malthael as well. So looking at Capital's draft, they would need maybe a range DPS at the moment. So maybe a Hanzo.
Hanzo would be very good.
But they pull up the Junkrat.
You know.
So a bit of displacement, and I think with the mind that he also pulls out quite a lot of space control as well. So this, I really like Capital's draft. I'm not 100% sure on Crimson's Academy's draft at the moment, but maybe I'll understand it when we get into the game. But I think this should be a really good match, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Crimson Academy can show us in their first game in the Open Division.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure that your draft is a little bit different, but I mean, having the coaching of that Premier team and Crimson doing incredibly well in Premier at the moment too. So I would say some very good coaching coming behind them. I'm sure they're very clear with what they want to do. They're far better players than me, I'm sure. So I'll believe in them. That Morales is an interesting pick on Capital. We haven't seen much of her, if any of her, for a very long time. It'll be good. But it'll be very interesting. Both very interesting drafts, I think, actually.
Yeah, so one thing that I think this match is going to hinge on is that solo lane. We're going to have Sonya against Malthael. They both can self-sustain quite well, so it's going to be interesting to see whether Aureus' experience in the Open Division is going to come out on top, or whether Raven is going to be able to, pull out the W in that lane for Crimson Academy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, depending on where the wave is, both Sonya and Matthew can, like you said, they sustain very well going into each other. As long as they're on the opposing wave, they can both last a very long time. Like you said, Aureus is very good in the solo lane. We've seen him very strong. It'll be interesting to see how Raven goes up against him.
For Gilneas.
And on the blue side, we've got Capital, we've got Ultimo Morales, Totems on the Junkrat, Tyron on the ETC, Beefy on Greymane, and Aureus on Sonya.
And on the red side, we've got the Crimson Academy team, the new team to the Open Division this week, with Pulse Croxley on the Malfurion, Burnsy on the Johanna, Matt on the Phoenix, Luke on the Chromie, and Raven, as we were saying, on the Malthael.
Okay, so heading in, let's take a look at the level 1 talents. It looks pretty standard to me. We've got Malfurion on taking the Nature Swiftness to kind of give him a bit more movement speed in the early game. Looking over here. Sure. Okay, just got a bit of a skirmish in the bottom lane. Chromie pumping out those sandblasts, trying to get those stacks up.
Yeah, she's got one so far. That's ever so important, those Chromie stacks.
One so far, but hopefully she'll finish that quest by the end of the game. Barely missing Ultimo there.
They're just both poking at each other from a distance at the moment.
to the top lane, you know, just playing around up here. And the beacons are about to come up in another 30 seconds. Tyrant slides in. He gets pushed back out, however. Gonna get healed back up to full by Morales, though. And Burnsley just practicing some point control here. Trying to keep Capital away.
And Raven doing well, holding his own up in the top lane, which is good to see.
We go, points up now. Crimson Academy takes the top one, and they're about to take the bottom one as well. How well can they hold it? Tyrant tries to come in to take the point back. That Morales sustain is going to come in handy here. Tyrant just staying on that point. Unable to take it back. No, it's going to go back to Crimson now. Tyrant's in trouble. He's rooted. And Tyrant gets popped. Good night, ETC.
First blood to Crimson Academy.
Crimson Academy playing really strong in their debut showing.
We've had Matt rotate up to the top lane, so the Phoenix helping that Malthuel, which has then helped Crimson Academy get the top back as well.
Aureus getting deleted as well, and it looks like unless Capital are able to do something, that Crimson are going to grab this first objective.
Yeah, and they got that rather comfortably as well. Got level 4 just a few seconds ahead of the Capital guys, so very strong first couple of minutes from Crimson Academy. Sure.
2.5 minutes in, and they've already got the first objective, and they're already up in EXP on the next talent tier. So it's going to be interesting to see what the play here is. You know, does Capital head up to the top lane? Do they, you know, defend the Zerg wave? There's 5, or are they going to defend this bottom lane where they've got 4 pushing in from Crimson Academy?
And Chromia, we were talking about her stack, she's already up to 28 stacks, so Mook getting incredible amounts of value fighting around these points. He's going to have
3 minutes in.
His quest done incredibly quickly.
Aureus doing what he can to try and poke and prod away at the 4-man at the bottom. However, he's very low. Barely avoids getting deleted by Chromie.
And Capital managed to relatively didn't lose too much, just a gate and one of the towers up in the top lane from that wave. So
well, that's the thing about the early game Zerg waves, is that it's possible to mitigate most of the damage if you don't make too many mistakes. So that was very lucky for Capital. They didn't give up too much there.
No, and with the experience changes that we've had recently too, typically, you know, we may have seen with that much going down with that first objective with the towers and the gate in previous times, they might have been pushing closer to 7 now already. But because of losing that experience and pushing it back into the forts and to the keeps, it's keeping it a little bit closer, which is good. It makes for stops the avalanche from happening.
Stops the snowball effect, because I mean, Crimson Academy are only hit by half a level at the moment. We've got a bit of a skirmish in the bottom lane here. Luke bringing those stacks up. Must be getting close, and he hits another sandblast. Burnsy. Here we go. Tyrant getting quite low, but I think the Moralizer is going to bring him back up to full. Go. Crimson Academy getting a lot closer to that fort. The next objective is coming up. Totems is low now. It's great to see how Crimson Academy are just controlling this bottom lane.
And they're controlling the top lane too. Raven's got Aureus completely pushed in. He hasn't managed to get that well down yet, but Aureus is having to stay under his fort. Raven's managed to get those waves constantly pushed in. Aureus just can't push out, which comes the objective time. Gives him a bit of advantage, but we've got Beefy coming up to lend a bit of a hand to Aureus, so Capital can get that top objective.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem when you're the solo laner, but you're unable to win the matchup. You know, you have to kind of soak under that tower. You have to be safe. It looks like in the bottom lane we've got a bit of a skirmish as well. Tyrant going in. But Phoenix ends up getting deleted anyway. Beefy is low. Uses the slash to avoid the Heaven's Breath.
Yeah, they're all a little bit low. Ultimo's getting them back up again. Oh, and they got the Chromie. That Greymane dive's doing very well.
Definitely, and Aureus getting popped in the top lane as well. Raven is going to take that point back. But luckily for Capital, they're able to hold the bottom lane while Raven has that top one there.
Yeah, their bottom lane value did really well, and they got lucky. And actually, Crimson Academy hasn't even got any percentage yet, so they did well. Getting those quick couple of kills on the Phoenix and on the Chromie really took that pressure off them. And ultimately, there, Morales doing a fantastic job of keeping a team up. The Morales and the Greymane got a little bit low in the Academy and Tyrant as well, but doing a fantastic job of team up.
Because that's the thing about Morales is that you've also got to manage her energy as well, which can be quite difficult. And Capital managing to take the top point as well. Aureus having a bit of a skirmish with Raven up in the top lane.
Yeah, Sonya at 7, going into Poison Spears, giving it just that little bit of extra poke when fighting off of the lane, just to get that little bit of extra damage into Raven. And now she's up to almost winning the lane, or getting a lot closer.
Yeah, they're both very low in that top lane, but while we were up there, Greymane getting popped in the bottom lane, so it looks like the bottom objective is going to head over to Crimson Academy, who have just hit their heroics.
Yeah, getting that level 10, almost pretty much a level ahead now, is going to ensure that they can get this cap now at 100%. Oh, Chromie finishing off that Sonya. That was insane.
And guess what? Guess what, you wish? Because Capital taking Morales, she has no cleanse, which means that Chromie can just temporal loop whoever she wants.
Yeah, you're right. That's going to probably, get in later game, really cause them some trouble. That Phoenix using his Planet Cracker from the middle of the map to help Raven at the top lane clear out what wasn't too bad of was about an 80% wave from Capital's point of view, but disappeared relatively quickly with that Planet Cracker.
But I mean, definitely good utility there.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Crimson Academy pushing in the bottom lane. Luke finishing the quest on Chromie at 8 minutes 47. So he's going to have those sand clones up now to double his sand blasts.
He's done that incredibly well.
Stun Tire comes out. And Junkrat just helping to take down the last of that Zerg wave. Crimson Academy getting incredibly close to taking down the keep. They've still got 2 towers to take out first, but good effort. So now we're going to see Crimson Academy trying to take a fort in the, not a fort, a camp in the bottom lane here, the Bruiser camp. Just to put a little bit more pressure on the bottom lane, which Junkrat is currently pushing back out. Now we've got Capital looking to invade here, but it looks like they're going to be a bit late. The mosh pit comes out.
3-man mosh pit. Beefy's going to clean up.
He jumps in, but I think he's going to get deleted. No, Ultimo manages to keep him alive, but he managed to fall in the end anyway.
Luke on this Chromie is just doing work.
Aureus in trouble. And he manages to get taken out anyway. The damage coming out of Crimson Academy, that was a 2-for-1 trade there.
Yeah, initially with that 3-man mosh and then Greymane diving in with his Organ form, they did really well, but with that turnaround with Luke on that Chromie, just hitting his Dragon's Breath and just trunking multiple members, and Morales can only heal one person at a time, unfortunately.
Definitely, I think Beefy on the Greymane was a little bit unfortunate because as soon as he jumped in, Luke just hit that temporal loop, and that's why he was able to go from like 100 to 0 so quickly.
Yeah. No, they're doing very well. If we're wondering about how well Crimson Academy are going to play, I think they're definitely giving us a pretty solid answer in this game. They've just got complete control. They're a level ahead, a level and a half, and a talent.
Aureus in trouble. And I think that temporal loop was a little bit unnecessary, but Aureus, you know, you can head back to the camp and have a rest for now.
catch his breath.
Definitely. I mean, they unloaded a lot on him there. All over him. It's like Burnsy, but he gets saved by the time trap. That could have been very unfortunate for Burnsy if he got caught out there. Looks like Crimson Academy are going to grab both of the points here. How long are they going to be able to hold the ball? They aren't on even talent tiers here, so it's going to be very hard for Capital to come in and try and contest this. But they are. They're going to try and come in. They push Chromie off the point. So that actually makes a lot of sense. They've come to the bottom lane as 5 to make sure that they can at least contest one of these beacons until they do get closer to the, that level 13. But we have a Planet Cracker coming in.
And the problem with that is they're not getting any experience now in the top lane. So it's just going to take them only longer and longer to get to 13, and they're still half a level away. At this fight, they have a disadvantage.
Burnsy escaping there on such a low amount of life. Raven looks like he's going to go down, but Morales goes down first. Raven is so low, must be 1 HP, and runs onto the Junkrat grenade. Unfortunate. Sonya's down as well. Beefy's going to fall too. Tyron, is he going to get away? No!
Phoenix with the invasive warp. That was a 4-man. 4 for 1. And
Phoenix is too strong. Unfortunate for Capital because right now they're going to lose both of these points, and it looks like we're going to have a boss as well. Is this an end?
Well, they're on equal talent levels now at least. Capital's got to 13. We're still a level away from 16. Once their keep starts to go down, though, they're going to be pushing 16. If Luke keeps hitting these Dragon Breaths and these Sandblasts, though, his damage is absolutely insane at the moment. He's just absolutely popping off on this Chromie. They could easily get 1 or 2 kills. Their death timers are still pretty low, but they could definitely put some pressure onto that core. Sure.
And Crimson pushing the top lane hard. Well, Raven tries to, annoy Sonya in the bottom lane. Keep Sonya busy just so that, one of their main sources of wave clear is busy in that bottom lane. Trying to help them catch up in EXP.
Sure, and
Temporal Loop comes out on totems, but he doesn't manage to get popped.
And they've got the boss pushing him with his wave as well, so this is...
Riptide comes out to try and do some wave clear. Takes down a lot of the Zerg wave quite low. They take the keep. That's going to be catapults in that top lane. And the boss has still got a lot of HP on it. Aureus has come back up to the top lane to try and help them deal with the huge amount of pressure that they've got on the top lane. Boss on the core now. Are they going to get the shields down? No, it doesn't look like it.
Starting to just back off and fight the fight another day, which is interesting. Cool, they're 3 levels ahead and a talent level ahead, but they only were the 4-man. Matthew was still in the bottom lane, pushing that bottom lane out. So obviously it's time to take their time. There's no need to rush these things. They've got such good map control at the moment. So
here's the thing, though. I mean, yes, you're 3 levels ahead, but is that really a fight you need to take? Why not play safe? Why not, grab some camps, put some map control on if you aren't 100% sure that you can end. The last thing that you want is a wipe on that core. Let Capital get that EXP back, catch up on a talent tier, and then all of a sudden, the game is snowballing in the other way.
yeah, no, for sure. Couldn't agree more. I think they made the right call by playing safe. Yeah, so they're just painting the map red now, just slowly going, getting these camps. With that talent lead, it'll be surprising if Capital tries to stop them from doing so. They can kind of only just be in damage control until they get that 16 at the moment.
Burnsy's just anchoring in that in the fog down there next to the bruiser camp. Some more pressure hitting on top. Well, Capital Crimson Academy heads down to the bottom lane. See if they can push this out. Try and make a play for that keep as well.
There's one thing that's better than catapults in one lane, Cub.
Catapults in both lanes, definitely.
Exactly.
Chromie using her heaven's breath to try and bring that tower down, and they are going to take that second tower. The keep is now exposed. They do still have the well there. Then Capital aren't quite 16 yet. but you know, with the amount of pressure in that bottom lane, they have to decide, do we want to wait until we do reach the 16, or are we going to fight here and now?
Yeah, Aureus thinking about getting that sneaky spear in from the side. Obviously deciding not to and backing back out again, but they were certainly thinking about it.
And it looks like we've got an ambush being set up here by Crimson Academy.
Sniffed out pretty well by the Junkrat. That was good thinking by Capital, probably anticipating that Crimson would think they would rotate towards that pad.
Well, it's that kind of question, isn't it? It's that question, if you can't see your opponent on the map, where are they? Are they sitting in the bushes right next to me? They likely are, so let's not go that way. Okay, heading up to the top objective. Phoenix gets popped. Tyrant getting low. Burnsy zoning the point. Aureus comes in. Riptire comes out. Last Rites doesn't manage to take out Aureus, but they do get him in the end. Raven is extremely low. Rayman goes down. Malthael is down as well. We've got 2 for 2 at the moment. Ultimo's doing a great job at keeping his team alive, but now he is very low himself. We've got the 2-man Mosh, but not enough damage to bring anyone down. Plus Croxley is getting so low and he gets popped by the grenade in the end. So 2v3, but Crimson Academy, both players have so much HP and so much damage coming out from that chroming.
Yeah, Burnsy can just stay there and peel, make sure that they don't get anywhere near that chromie. Lucan can just continue to poke. They're going to rotate. Junkrat's going to rotate down now and get the pad. Crimson Academy had got it, so now with them holding, if they can hold the top between the Morales and the ETC. Oh, that Planet Cracker though.
Planet Cracker comes in, but they are both low. All players on Capital up, and they're both starting to, and everyone is starting to invade that top lane. It's time for Crimson Academy to back off. You know, it is even talent tiers now. They cannot risk to take this fight when they're not 5, especially without Malfurion.
Yeah, very, very smart play from Capital, holding that just long enough, already taking the bottom, so they're getting a little bit more percentage, about another 12 or 14% they got over that, so just keeping that pressure on. And
Junkrat getting jumped on in the boss pit there. Unfortunate. Raven's low, but he's going to escape. But it looks like Crimson Academy are going to make a play to take this top point back. Aureus jumping in. The Stim Drone comes out on Greymane. He's powered up, but it looks like they're going to back off anyway. They do have catapults in the core on that top lane, so someone has to come back and clear that out, or it's going to be trouble for Capital. Crimson Academy just taking a bruiser camp in the top right hand of their lane. We're getting a skirmish done in the bottom lane now. Luke sending those time traps out. Get some Sandblast on Tyrant. Ultimo's getting low. Tyrant's rooted. Is this good night for Tyrant? No. Ultimo gets taken out by the last Rites. Wow. Much delete. So this is dire straits for Capital here. Beefy goes down to the Sandblast. Malfurion chasing, so is Malthael, and Ty's down as well. And we've got a Zerg wave in the bottom lane for Crimson Academy. Is this good night for Capital?
yeah, 30, 40 seconds before the rest of their team is up. The wave will take a little bit of time to get there, but Crimson will probably already be on the court before that even happens.
Well, Crimson have also just hit 20 as well. So they've just hit that power spike when they reach their Storm talent. So, you know, Capital have to pick a fight here to save their core. And unfortunately, it looks like Ultimo Aureus is about to get popped. He gets taken out. Junkrat's Riptire comes out. It's going to take out some of the wave. Luke barely getting saved by the stasis there. Planet Cracker to take Junkrat out, but that game is going to go to Crimson Academy. What a great debut we had.
Yeah, that was an incredibly solid showing. That was fantastic. That Luke on that Chromie was absolutely insane. He was on point. He had 100 of his stacks by the end of that game. He had 86,000 damage. Compared to the closest with the Junkrat was on 52,000. That's a huge difference. He just popping off.
amazing, especially since a lot of these players on this Crimson Academy lineup, I mean, I hadn't heard of them. So it's really good to see that we do have like these kind of caliber of players that can come in and kind of surprise us a little bit.
Yeah, and it's going to be good for the scene. Hopefully, these teams are scrimming as well, so everyone will be learning off of each other, and to have a team that's going to come in and be strong and perform like that, it's really going to hopefully is going to, well, they'll do really well and maybe proceed to the Premier, but it'll bolster the rest of the Open Division teams, and the whole scene hopefully will improve as a result.
I really enjoyed from that game watching Luke Temporal Loop, but then the Malfurion putting down a root underneath the Temporal Loop if they didn't think that the Chromie combo would kill. I really thought that was smart.
Yeah, very, very good synergy, yeah.
And it looks like we're going on to the second game now, You Wish. Oh, we're going to cut to a break. That's awesome. So now we're going to take a break for about 5 minutes. Stick around for the second game.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon, definitely.